All right. Well, we're here with Theresa Hightower. She's going to be the featured vocalist for the Marietta Jazz and Jokes Tribute to Quincy Jones show. So, Theresa, tell me exactly the date of that particular show and the location.
The date of the show is April 7th, which is this coming Saturday, 2018. The show is from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's Jazz and Jokes. Beautiful setting. Fontaine has just done amazing with this. I mean, you know, just the whole concept. 164 Roswell Street, Marietta, Georgia, 30060. With me, I have, of course, my show collaborator, Arthur Turner. I have a funky bassist, man. She's awesome. Fujimoto is on bass, and Eric Johnson is on drums. Arthur, let me see, Eric has been with me through 3, you know, because as Fontaine said earlier, he calls this Quincy's Tribute 4. You know, and each time we go a little deeper, we'll pull some different songs, we'll do so many things, you know, because, my God, you can do a 5-hour show and really not have touched all of the music that Q has done, you know. So I have, Arthur's been there since the inception. We collaborated on it together. Mm-hmm. So this is, you know, it's me as the artist and Arthur as musical director and part collaborator and informant and all of that. This is Fuji's first year. I'm excited about having her. Eric Johnson has been with me for 3 years. Eric Johnson is on drums.
Yeah, and like you said, that you guys be doing this, that location is in the heart of downtown Marietta Square.
On the square, yes. 164 Roswell Street, Marietta, Georgia, 30060. Right in the square in Marietta. Awesome setting, awesome setting.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to ask you. So I know this is kind of unique. I know they do a jazz component. And the person you're referring to is Fontaine Lewis. He's the producer of the show.
Well, I woke up one morning and just had this dream where I had seen TV Land and saw all these old TV shows. And I'm one to, you know, I like liner notes. I like to read the credits and stick around to the end of the movie and see who participated in what kind of way. And I remember seeing seemingly every show had Quincy in the credits for, you know, producing the music. So every jingle, every sitcom, whatever, it was the soundtrack of my life growing up as a child. And I, you know, called Theresa one day and I said, I've got this idea for a show, and you know, I'm like, I think you're the person to pull it off. And I said, you know, see if we can put our heads together and come up with something unique, because I believe in giving people their roses while they're still alive. And he's been such an iconic figure, you know, for decades that I just thought that it'd be interesting to kind of drop some knowledge on some folks about what Q has really done throughout the years that people may not have known. And Theresa and I put our heads together, and hence the Quincy Jones Tribute began. And I think I put on this one Chapter 4 because we've gone deep into his songbook for a couple of years now, and it's just another chapter we're about to go into on Saturday night. I've done a few things with swing dance shows around town, and in doing research for that, I saw Babyface Q doing work with the Rat Pack. It's like he's there with Dean and Sinatra, and then Johnny Carson was the MC for the evening. And I look up and Q's leading the Count Basie Orchestra, looking like a little, you know, babyface, you know, 21-year-old. And it just made me wonder. It's like, when did this guy sleep? And it just, you know, it was just so intriguing that he has had his hands in so many pots of so many different things. And as I said, he was the soundtrack of my life as a child growing up, and it continues to be. And he's just, you know, from We Are the World to just so many different things that he's touched that I just said, you know, he, if not Q, then who could we, you know, pay honor to in this kind of way while he's still here with us?
I think his uniqueness came, first of all, from the work that he did, you know, from how far back he goes. He allowed himself to embrace all genres of music. And it intensified his ears. It intensified his ears. It intensified that part of him spiritually that's connected to the music. You know what I mean? And allowed him to do more, because when you find out and when you come to the show, people will find out from my biopic of him and from my research that, you know, as Fontaine was saying earlier, he started with Count Basie Orchestra, you know, but he goes back further than that. So no one would even equate him, because we tend to do separation in music. You know what I mean? When we got into genres, we tend to separate. But music is music. And I think Q encompasses all of it and brings it all together for whatever style that is. He uses his jazz, he uses his early influences, he uses his funk, he uses his pop. You know what I mean? Because once the music is in you, you know, then the chord structures are the chord structures and how they fit. I think that makes him unique, you know, that he's crossed all genres of music and took the limitations off.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you remember the first time you kind of recall being aware of Quincy Jones music, or some of the first things he's done?
When I first paid attention to it, well, now that I know what I know about the things that he's done, you know, and I'll throw out one word, Dinah Washington. You know, now that I know that, I've been listening to him for a long time, but I just wasn't aware that it was him, because I too was separating things. So this has been a journey for me and a learning experience, a wonderful learning experience. I'm like, oh my God, that was cute. Oh my God, that was cute. But it's like the things that we in our generation, you know, began to understand, Sanford and Son and all of those. I'm like, oh yeah, Q produced that. Oh, he produced that. But once we started to do the tribute, and I started researching, I was wonderfully, pleasantly surprised at all that he had done.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said that you consider what you guys doing a biopic. Kind of tell me kind of your approach to approaching this, your kind of mentality towards approaching this show.
Of course, it's musical and it is biopic, because there are a lot of things that people don't know. And oftentimes when we do tributes, people just get up and do the songs and sing the songs and da-da-da-da-da-da. But for me, I delved a little bit deeper, and I researched his history. I researched how some of these songs came about. And so there'll be some songs that will be included in my tribute that someone may sit there and scratch their head and say, well, why is she doing that? And then I explain why. This was Q, you know, and it makes people more aware. That's why I say biopic. Make him aware, you know, that of how multi-dimensional he is.
Mm-hmm. And how do you determine what pieces to use? I mean, he has such an expansive career, done so many types of genres. Like, how do you know, how did you go about picking what music you want to feature for this show?
Well, of course, to be honest, I chose the hits, the things that we all knew about. You know what I mean? The songs that a lot of us knew about. But then as I got in there and researched, and I'm collaborated, Arthur Turner, who is the pianist, but he's also the collaborator on the show with me. And so he gave me information on things that I did not know, and it made me go deeper. You know what I mean? So there were some songs that he knew about, you know, and I was like, oh my God, really? Oh my God, really? You know, so that, you know, to put that honestly, he collaborated with me as well, taught me some things, and then I went and researched and learned some more. And so a lot of the songs, when I do the songs, I'll do the songs that people recognize, of course, but then there are some that are interjected that are going to, again, I'll say are going to surprise people, because they wouldn't equate it with Q, but it will show how multidimensional Q is.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a fan, you know, everyone knows about, you know, the big stuff Q's done, you know, We Are the World, Thriller,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Is some of that part of the repertoire as well?
We got a little bit of everything. So see, and that's why I keep saying without giving away the show, because part of the uniqueness of the show that we have found, Fontaine and I found, and over the last couple of years, was the information that people would find out. There was some that knew, but there was some that would be shocked, you know, his affiliation with Dinah. And I can't say any more because I'm saving that for Showtime. So for those that are interested, you have to come to the show.
Mm-hmm. And I guess you kind of, I guess to me, you would be the perfect person to kind of talk about, you know, a person like Quincy Jones. you know, he has such a varied background, and you do as well. I know you've
Yeah,
done a lot
yeah,
of music, theater,
yeah.
television, film work. So kind of give us, kind of, for those who may not know a whole lot about you, kind of give us kind of your roots to the scene and to the entertainment business here in the
Oh my
city.
God, I've been doing it for quite some time. I've been doing it, the number of years or how long I've been doing this music is totally different than what my age is. No, but my first theater, my very first theater situation was to portray Dinah. That's why you keep hearing me say Dinah. And at the show tomorrow, you will understand how those merge for me and are so special. You know, his affiliation with Dinah and that kind of thing. It just blew my mind, you know, but I do theater. I'm an actress, I'm a singer, I'm a vocal coach, motivational speaker. I have over 35 years experience. Let's go on and be clear, I have over 40 years experience. I've traveled around the world, performed, opened for so many different people, you know. Just recently, I had a scene in the television show Sundance TV Happen Leonard, where I was, co-starring in that particular scene with the infamous Mr. Louis Gossett Jr. You know, last year I did Atlanta's debut of Holler If You Hear Me, which of course was about Tupac, and directed by renowned Kenny Leon. It had its debut on Broadway, but then we did a debut here. So, and I've performed, I was at the, just performed all around, I guess, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you definitely can bring something unique to to a story like Quincy Jones. So,
Yeah, yeah, because when I look at Q, I think one of the things that I love about Q, and I've heard this about me, and it makes me feel good, not to toot my horn, but to be thankful, is timeless. See, when you can remain timeless, when we get down into it and more information is given to everyone, they will understand what I mean. But Q, we're gonna go back to 1955. You know what I mean? And earlier, this guy was at the top of his game and still is at the top of his game, so he has affected the music industry. There are not many, I want to almost say any, but if there are any, there are very few genres that he has not affected or worked directly with, so that to me, and I'm that same way, I take off the limits. I've had challenges with people and they say, well, what kind of music do you sing? I said, I sing, because music is just like God. God is, music is, everything is melodic. And so when you open yourself up to that part of you, you'll be surprised, how you express it. I tend to love music. I've been going at it for a long time, over 40 years, but the music today is still important because, you're saying something, you're telling a story. And I'm a master storyteller as far as singing the songs. So lyrics are important to me. Melody is very important to me. And Q is a melody man, he's a melody man.
Jazz and Jokes, I guess, environment is a little different. Kind of describe it to us.
Oh my God, Fontaine sets it up. I love it. He calls it his living room. But he sets it up. It's very well set up, and people bring in, it's kind of like a Chastain, an inside kind of Chastain thing. And they have vendors and that kind of thing. And the atmosphere is awesome. People have a good time. They're up dancing, they're up partying. And, he focuses on the kids and music for the kids. So you're going to have a show and you're going to have comedy as well.
All right, you can't beat that. So for those who are interested and maybe want to purchase tickets, how can they do so, or where can a website they can visit, or what's the best?
Oh, wow. So see, that I don't, because I'm on this, I don't have the link, but you can visit eventbrite.com and look for Fontaine Lewis's production of Quincy Jones Tribute.
Theresa, thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to checking you out this weekend. That's going to be on April
7th, Saturday, April 7th. Jokes and Jazz, the Quincy Jones Tribute. Marietta on the Square, 164 Roswell Street, 30060, from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m.
And people, they can, if I'm not mistaken, people can bring their own food and drink as well. So
that's why I kind of use the Chastain thing, because they bring their picnic baskets in, they set up their tables, you know, the candles are there, the ambiance is amazing, the stage, it's just really a nice evening, you know. There will be vendors there, you know, where you can purchase different things, but it's just an all-out beautiful time and a beautiful setting. And of course, you get to experience the Quincy Jones Tribute, and find out some information. You're going to hear the songs you love, but you're also going to learn something about Quincy, you know, because it's one thing to know the music and to love the man for his music, but then you're going to find out the depth of the man in his music.
All right, I'm excited. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, Theresa.